So now when you go ahead and identify a sponsor and a project that you like, what is the structure, Paul? How do you set that up inside your firm to actually connect the dots between the investment itself, the deal, and the investor's equity? Are you creating an SPE? Are you creating a fund? Just tell me how do you do that internally?
How does it work? Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's a good question. So I'm a broker. I was a Wall Street analyst. Luckily, I am a true independent broker. So you want to make sure first you're working with a fiduciary who puts your interests first and is compliant and follow regulations. That's number one. And so there's two ways, basically. You can find a private custodian who can then custody the money and pool it. Or number two is you can go directly to that organization and write a check to them. Now, obviously, the second one's more risky. If you're writing a check to ABC Capital Company and they just opened up, there's a possibility of fraud. If they've existed for 35 years and they have a track record of 25 successful private investments, you're probably okay. And so those are the two basic ways you can go. And I really encourage all investors to go from 0% private investing to 1. If you're at 1, go from 1 to 5. If you're at 5, go to 10. Just like foreign investing, half the world GDP is outside the US. We only invest in the US. So if you have 1% foreign, you should go to 5. If you're 5, you should go to 10. Or you're missing out on growth. So you don't want to miss out on half the world's growth outside the US. You don't want to miss out on half the investments in the world, which are private. And so that's why I encourage people to truly diversify through alternatives, private and foreign.
So just one more question on this, just so I understand. So if you find a sponsor who's got a PPM and they want to raise money, you're representing clients, you've got, I don't know, however many hundred clients and billions of dollars under management, and you want to channel some of that capital into that sponsor's project, are your investors writing checks directly to or your clients writing checks directly to the sponsor? And if so, how are you making a living from that? Is it not coming through like some kind of conduit that you have internally?
Correct. I've decided not to create a conduit internal. I think it creates a compliance and regulatory mess. It looks like a shell game. I just don't want to be involved in that. I don't think it's the right way to go. Look at Enron. I just don't think it's the way to go. So if it's IRA money, retirement money, ERISA money, if you go to a private custodian, it basically will say so-and-so's name, right? It'll say IRA FBO Joe Smith. So it's actually written to themselves, but it's held by a private custodian. If it's non-qualified money or post-tax money or a direct investment, you are writing it to that capital company. Now, they'll often create themselves a shell company that says XYZ Investment Pool LLC, okay? So that's the way. Now, how do I make money? On the private side, I don't want to get in the way of growth. When I was a venture capitalist, we didn't have a return for 3 years, which is actually very good. Sometimes it'd be 10 years. And so during that time, to take a fee makes no sense because all you're doing is harming the investment by taking capital away from the investment. So on the private side, what I do is take nothing until the end, and then I take what's called a 2 in 20. The same thing hedge funds do, 2% management per year, plus a 20% take on the profit. And by then, if we have a 10 banger, they want to give me more money. So 2 times 5 years would be 10, plus the 20 is 30%. They had a 10 banger, I'm taking 3-fold, they're taking 7-fold, and they're begging me to take more money, and I can't. So they want tax deductions. So that's the way to do it, is back-end it so that while the investor is waiting and stressed out and not making any money, I'm also waiting. So I'm in conjunction with the investor, and my interests are aligned with the investor.
Absolutely fascinating. So you take a 2% assets under management fee, whatever they put in
at the end
on an annual, not on an annual basis.
At the end. So again, if you take the 2% from the investment, you've hurt the investment. Right? You just hurt the capital.
Is that 2% per year, or that's total
2%? 2% per year. So 5 years goes by.
Got it.
2 times 5 is 10%.
Got
plus
it.
a 20% take of the profit is 30%.
Fascinating.
It sounds like, wow, that's a lot of money. But I waited 5 years, and at that point, if they got 7x and I end up with 3x, they're begging me to take more money, and I can't.